Brady now on first down. Screen pass to Blunt. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away. Throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Gronkowski may have had to miss a Super Bowl with the injury, but he was active in that parade, and now he's back on the field. And I'll tell you what, something you mentioned to me is that he was a big cheerleader for his teammates. Never hung his head through the injury, celebrated with him all the way through the title.
We've seen superstars in the past, when their team does well without them, they're happy, but they recede into the background. Right? They get out of the way because it does hurt them a little bit. They do have pride. They want to feel like, hey, without me, they may take a little bit of a step back. But with Gronk, you never saw that. You saw him with him every step of the way, cheering his team on, happy for their success. They went 11-0 without him in 2016, but I know this, they don't want to try it again.
No,
they want the big fella back.
And now a first down following that long gain. Big run on the opening drive, and they better watch out for this guy or it's going to be a long game.
Back when I played in our scouting reports getting ready for games, we put stars next to the guys that we thought were the key players on the other side. There should have been 3 or 4 stars next to that guy's name.
Nothing on that one. It'll be second down. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. Now Brady escaping the pressure right. This is caught. Gronkowski. And he's going to get into the end zone. So cue up the Gronk spike. Gets a Patriot touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Patriots drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. Gronkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And the kick goes outside the white lines. That's why the flag comes out.
Yes, and that was an error by the kicker, and it will give the offense great starting field position.
On first down, Smith. It's Hill, complete. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, another catch for Tyreek Hill. How do you defend him? Because kickoff return, punt return, catching the ball, whether it's a receiver out of the backfield, and, of course, you can run it with him, too.
Well, let me give you some numbers from last year. To your point, 12 total touchdowns, 6 of them receiving, 3 rushing, and 3 in the return game.
If you're an offensive coordinator and you can't diagram plays for this guy, turn in your clipboard.
Devin McCourty brings him down. And the offense in that middle ground here on third down, 3rd and 5.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And he's got his man. That's Macklin. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. On second down, here's Smith. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Rob Ninkovich from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get alongside Charles Davis. Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2. They take over 1st and 10 up near midfield. They go play action here on 1st down. Finding time. He's going to air it out deep for Hogan. The former Bill, Chris Hogan, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain. I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. Last time out, they had that long 50.
Yes, they're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is. And even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine, you know, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. We get to see them on the field for the first time. And we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. Okay, partners, New England comes out here to take the field on offense. This is such an interesting story, how they've been able to do it year after year after year. Guys talk about parity in the NFL. Well, New England has kind of transcended that parity, and they've done it with guys that you don't normally think of as household names.
The parts keep changing for New England. That's the amazing part on offense, all right? Offensive linemen change, receivers change, running backs change. We know the one constant is Tom Brady, and that's a huge deal for them. But to be able to do it in what you call the parity times, and you're exactly right, everyone's supposed to be pretty equal. New England still a top 10 offense year in and year out. In 2016, they were number 4, and that helped them with the number 1 ranked defense as well.
And Gronkowski's got it, complete over the middle. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Ah, yes, Brady to Gronk. You think these two are in sync?
Without a doubt. And look, they both understand what they can do for each other. Gronk knows if he gets open, the ball's going to be there. And Tom Brady knows what a great security blanket Gronk is. When all else fails, you find big 87.
And they get 28 yards on that one. And the Pats are set up now with a 1st and goal. Last year for Edelman, just below 100 receptions, 98, over 1,100 yards, 3 touchdowns. And, you know, this is a guy that gets a lot of pub for being that perfect receiver for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. What's his role going forward?
I think his role going forward is to be a bona fide number 1 receiver in the NFL, meaning he's not just a Tom Brady receiver. He's that guy for anyone. And he spent so much time proving himself as he got into the league, just what you were talking about. Can I have a role here with New England? Now it's not just proving himself, it's continuing to develop in his craft. And I think he's going to just keep getting better and better. He never gave up on himself in his dreams, and he doesn't give up on any single play. All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job, way to knock it down.
And that's going to be caught for a Patriot touchdown. Danny Amendola, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
So that drives 6 plays, 75 yards. And it ends with a New England touchdown. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. So a heck of a move. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And now here comes Kansas City. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shane McClellan coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
So he makes the grab and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving them time to complete that first down pass.
Looking left side, that's caught by Maclin. Jeremy Maclin, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Jeremy Maclin, 65 yards. And the Chiefs are able to get this back within a touchdown.
Yeah, you heard it, right?
Exhale.
You heard the exhale, and I'm taking that from their bench because finally, right before the half, they find a way to get the ball in the end zone and get some points on the board. Maybe they can use that to kickstart them for the second half.
Yeah, just to get something before going into the lockers. And now in the second half, if they can just tighten.
That's what they want to do. Tighten down everything they're doing and then maybe explode at the right time.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here come the Patriots again on offense, the Super Bowl champions. And, boy, they have been able to do it a lot of times, Charles, with unsung heroes, haven't they? Look at the names that led them through the playoffs. Hogan, White, Lewis, guys you just wouldn't think of.
Yeah, Deion Lewis, a 5th-round pick, 3 touchdowns against Houston in the divisional round. Chris Hogan, undrafted. He ends up having 180 yards in receptions, including 5 plays of 20 yards or more against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And how about James White, a 4th-round pick out of Wisconsin? Think about who he played behind while he was at Wisconsin, and he turns out to be the unsung hero of the Super Bowl. Would have been the MVP if it wasn't for Tom Brady.
And you mentioned James White at Wisconsin. He was behind who? Melvin Gordon and Monte Ball, right?
That's correct.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And they're going to go soft on the corners. Brady to throw on second down. And right side caught Hogan. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now a play fake here on 1st down. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. A good pickup there at 22. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Now a play fake. Brady. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Oh, he left this one out to the right. That's a bad miss. No good. And pump the brakes, Larry. Pump the brakes. We are ready for quarter number 3. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Here's Smith now on second down. Flush to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice. Able to get a hand in and tip it away.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Patriots take over. So here are the Patriots now. They get ready for their first possession of half number 2. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now how about the boost the defense gave?
Rob Gronkowski. There he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Rob Gronkowski, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Patriots add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. Tyreek Hill on the return. The D for the Pats. The Patriots heading back onto the field now. They were able to force that 3-and-out. That led to a touchdown. Defenses obviously love 3-and-outs. They want more of that.
They created a very short and not too sweet stint for the offense by getting them off the field that fast, but it set up their own offense, gave them a little spark, and they took it downfield and scored.
Now the question, can they do it again? Let's see. Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams, and Arizona. Those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. The Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the 2 different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all of these places. But Mexico, for the 2nd straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. It's a big play there for the Chiefs. 34 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
The well-executed slant routes are based on timing, and that one was hit just right. Ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, right to the receiver. He catches it on the run, and you saw the end result. Big-time run after catch. They love those rack yards.
So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready.
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're buried deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No,
you know
go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they've been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year, they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck, one of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Fielded at the 20.
Illegal block in the back. Return team. Automatic first down.
Charles the lone setback. On 1st and 10, Smith under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Rob Ninkovich in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. On 2nd down, here's Smith. Looking for Macklin, and it's intercepted. And some room to roam now. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. They'll start the drive with Jamal Charles. And some space here. It's a pickup of 14 there. And that'll be good for a KC first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. That is caught inside the 5. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Chiefs are able to cut into this lead. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was a prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And this will wind up being a poor decision to bring it out as he's out of bounds shy of the 20. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They go play action here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Derek Johnson back now in Foxborough. We get set for the fourth quarter. Patriots have the lead. They also have the football. Now Brady throwing on second down. And that's caught. It's Hogan. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Brady will try again on second down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Allen Bailey in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. And I know it seems like we say this a lot in broadcast booths, but a quarterback can hold on to the football too long in these situations. I think he did right there.
Oh, I agree with you totally. Sometimes you have to understand situations. Get rid of the football, save some yardage to make it less to gain for the next down. Instead, he was so hipped on ball security, he held on to it and took a big sack.
Here's Ryan Allen now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. This is brought in at the 21. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. And now here comes Kansas City. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here.
And that one was knocked away, and I think the defenders are going to be a little upset with themselves. They made the play on the football, but that one felt like a forced pass by the quarterback. Thought he had someone open. He really wasn't. Maybe an example of having too much confidence in his receiver that no matter what, I'm going to throw it to him. And that was a play made by the defense, and it could have been a bigger one. I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we get this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity. After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Desperation time for Smith on fourth down. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Dante Hightower. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Letting one go deep here for Gronk. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Now Brady. Right side, that's complete to Gronkowski. A big play. Brady to Gronkowski. 45 yards. He's playing a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead. Confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. The strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done. Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
He's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Brady to the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
And he'll have his man. That's Edelman. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Julian Edelman, 34 yards. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This is taken near the 13. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And now here comes Kansas City. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, and what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. On 2nd and 10, Smith. Looking left side, that's caught by Macklin. A very solid gain of 27. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still can't.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Rob Ninkovich in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now it's Smith toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Chris Conley, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Incomplete pass on 2nd down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on 3rd. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 3rd and long, it's Smith. Complete. This is Albert Wilson. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him, and he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
A good pickup there at 22. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting...
He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Chris Conley, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Chiefs are able to draw a bit closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
So 2 scores down, time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is secured by the Patriots. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Julian Edelman, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurt. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Well, not the position they want to be in. Still a very, very small chance here, but they almost need a miracle.
Agreed. That means they've got to get it to the sidelines, get out of bounds, and preserve clock.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Holding offense.
And that right there will set them back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And let's shift now to talking about the Patriots defense. That interception the last go-around when they were out there, 4 turnovers now for this unit. Pretty impressive.
And how happy are they to actually run back on the...
He's got a man, complete. It's a big play there for the Chiefs, 31 yards. And now they're in the hurry-up. Now a first down throw, it's Smith. He couldn't quite hold it, got hit, ball pops out, incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Here's Smith. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Patrick Chung. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur Once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit.
And Brady going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And this is dropped and incomplete.